Welcome to Turkistan TV News.
Companies that sponsored Beijing Winter Olympics are losing millions of dollars every day. T5 Global News. Beijing Winter Olympics will go down in the history as a moment of reckoning for Xi Jinping's murderous CCP regime. And how does the authoritarian regime go down? Businesses and sponsors realize that people will punish them for associating with Beijing. Beijing Winter Olympics sponsors are set to record heavy losses. Why? Well, no one is watching the Beijing Winter Olympics. Beijing Winter Olympics registers record low viewership for its opening ceremony. Why do sponsors pump money into international sporting events? So that they come into limelight when sports enthusiasts watch it on their TV sets and mobile phones all over the world, right? But if gaining limelight was the goal, the sponsors are in for a huge shock. People are not watching the Beijing Winter Olympics. It was a record low for the opening ceremony in the United States viewership for the opening ceremony on Friday, averaged just 16 million, beating the previous low of 20.1 million for the 1988 edition in Calgary. And this is a huge decline of 43% as against the 2018 games in South Korea. Beijing Winter Olympics facing a worldwide boycott campaign. Governments enforced only a diplomatic boycott, and they couldn't stop businesses from sponsoring the games either. But people across the world are looking to boycott Beijing Winter Olympics. This is a palpable lot of anger on social media. Meghan McCain, for example, said, "I will not watch 1 minute of Beijing 2022, adding the hashtag genocide games. She shared an image designed by Chinese artist Badu Sol that shows an ice hockey player in Chinese flag with blood on his stick and a mask while knocking over a Tibetan monk. But the trend goes beyond the United States of America. In neighboring Canada, 47% of the 1,000 respondents in a survey said that they will make a conscious effort to refrain from watching the Beijing Winter Olympics. The adverse sentiment has gone up since December 2021. Meanwhile, social media is full of adverse sentiment against the Beijing Winter Olympics. Genocide Games is trending on the Twitter, with the posts like the image of an athlete on the Chinese flag shooting a blindfolded Uyghur. And No Beijing 2022 has been trending on social media since August last year. No Beijing 2022 website states at least 2 million Uyghur, Kazakh, Uzbek Muslims are undergoing torture, rape, and political re-education. It also states 80% of Tibetan children, as young as 4, are forced away from their parents and housed in China's colonial boarding schools. Cut off from their families, they face intense political indoctrination. And it also mentions Chinese bullying of Taiwan and aggression in South China Sea and India-Tibet border. Chinese propaganda to burn remaining viewership. If there were people who were going to watch the Beijing Winter Olympics, Chinese propaganda during the opening ceremony is bound to drive them away. There were a lot of toxic propaganda on display. The ceremony ended with the use of cross-country skier Dilnagar Ilhamjan as one of the cauldron lighters. The Chinese state media proudly says that Ilhamjan has an Uyghur heritage only after repeated killing, raping, and torturing millions of Uyghurs. China used the opening ceremony as a platform for its toxic political agenda. And if this wasn't enough, International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach's speech should do the trick. There was so much praising anti-China and the Chinese friends that his speech surprisingly sounded more like an address to the CCP gathering. If someone was still going to watch the games, the Chinese political propaganda and the Bach's speech should do the trick. But as the Winter Olympics ownership takes a hit, it's the sponsors who will have to suffer. This sends across a loud and clear message. Those who sponsor China will have to face the wrath of China haters all around the world. Iltaver from East Turkestan TV News reported.